Look at that. Unfortunately, you don't get to control the units, you don't get to move them around like normal units. If you can find the secret to getting them released, they'll head straight to Isengard, just like in the story. They're definitely some of the strongest units in the game. And that's another interesting thing to mention about this game. Since it is real-time strategy, there's all kinds of opportunities to get various units and armies on your side earlier than later. And it can totally affect your strategy on beating the game. Here we got the Ents early in the game. Here's a way you can recruit the elves to get them earlier. There's an object called the Silver Orb. And by using it in the right place at the right time, the elves are some of the best units in the game. They can do massive damage and take on thousands of orcs. Eventually, the Dark Lord's army marches forth, and then you'll start seeing them moving around on the map. They come from all different directions. When that happens, all hell breaks loose. Here we'll show how awesome some of these elves can be. 1,800 elves versus 2,000 orcs. Oop, they're dead. Minas Tirith is a place that gets slammed all the time. Sometimes it's best to put all your units there if possible. Gandalf just got destroyed. Tower guards and rangers are definitely some of the best units in the game. Interestingly enough, there's only 100 tower guards in the game. I'm not sure why that is, but here's something to mention. When you have all different types of units, here we have cavalry, infantry, tower guards, knights, men-at-arms. You'd think that would actually be beneficial, but for some reason with the way this game works, you start to lose all kinds of units. You'll lose a little bit from each group, so usually it's best to have one big group and try to fight with just that. Trolls. These are some of the worst things to fight in the game. They're extremely tough and they can take on pretty large armies. Now here we outnumber them significantly, but in general they're not something you want to try to fight. That's another thing to mention. This game is very strong on having strength in numbers. If you have a big army, you can completely wipe out the other side and do it quite easily. Some of the characters are actually pretty strong too, but if there's a big army, they don't have a chance. Even Gandalf would get his butt kicked by 1,000 orcs. When one of the characters die that's leading the other characters and armies, it becomes a real pain in the butt because all the armies split up into individuals. So then you gotta waste all your time, like right now, trying to get them to regroup. Gandalf's one of the characters that actually gets resurrected like he does in the real story. Again, here we have a whole bunch of different types of units against 2,000 orcs. You'll notice we're losing 245 infantry, Faramir got killed, lost some rangers, Theodred's dead now, 248 cavalry, and usually cavalry is very powerful. So again, one of the good strategies in this game is to not have all these different types of units separated like this. Every once in a while you get some kind of like massive attack like I just did there. I don't know if it's if you charge early enough, but those orcs were completely wiped out without any losses. There's another demonstration of that. We killed all of those without losing a single unit. Again, just showing how awesome the elves are. We take out all those Easterling and Wayne Riders and just lost roughly 200. Dwarves are a lot tougher than elves. Here you can see we only lost 18, but we lost 55 elves. But again, each unit has advantages and disadvantages. The dwarves are very tough and the elves do lots of damage. Men-at-arms seem to be tough to take out, but they don't really seem to do much damage. They kind of seem like a well-rounded unit, kind of like a bard in most role-playing games. I don't know what the difference is between light infantry and regular infantry. But since I have all these infantry split out like this, you can see I lose quite a few. You'd be much better off grouping them into one big group. But, again, if you don't have control of the units, you can't do that. As I mentioned earlier, there's many ways to win. Here we snuck in through the backside to get to Mount Doom with the ring bearer. And this is basically the ending of the game. Sometimes you can just do massive attacks on all the orcs and break through to Mount Doom that way. Other times you can be fighting off the main armies at Minas Tirith or some other place and then just have a few units to climb the mountains or sneak through to Mount Doom. The freedom to do what you want in this game, but to be somewhat confined by the story, is just a fantastic feature. Even though the game has the occasional glitch that pops up, and some of the controls can be irritating at times, this is one of the best real-time strategy games ever created. This ends the review of War in Middle-earth. See you next time.